today's program, and the person who is going to introduce or widen our knowledge on the Hindu past. I don't like calling that Hindu past, but since that is the subject, the Hindu past of Pakistan today, Mr. Sandeep Balkrishna and all the persons who have assembled here, come here to hear Mr. Santhosh so that we can understand a forgotten piece of our history. Because the present curriculum of history or the present agenda of the historians in this country, to a large extent, I don't tell it as sweepingly everyone, but to a large extent, it has been something like the people who travel in car, we are used to this tinted glass. In the same way, the history curriculum and the history both are tinted post-independence era to suit a particular kind of argument in this country, which was both intellectually driven and also politically driven. We need to see through those tinted glass to understand India better, India's past better, and also India's surroundings better also. And it is not an easy task when the whole thing is covered up, when the whole thing is not in proper shape so that it can be studied. It makes the study still more difficult. Today's talk makes that task a little bit easier so that we can understand our part. To make it more specific, it's the immediate past, because the region is also very immediately next to us, and also the period is also just immediate last few decades. The country, if you go through a history before 50, 60, 70 or 80 years, now we are used to a word called Pakistan, which was never in the historical books nor in any other kind of platform. It was never there across 4,000-5,000 years of written history or presentable history. And that particular word, it came into existence on those days in the midnight of August 14th and 15th. And now the people there, to justify their cause, which was an aberrated cause, to justify their cause, they tell we have a 2,000 years history, we have 3,000 years history, and we have 4,000 years history. And when you look at what is their 2,000 years history, what is their 4,000 years history, it is again the Panini, the Sanskrit person who gave us the Sanskrit grammar. It is again the Indus Valley civilization, which was never known as Pakistan, which was Hindu at best, which was Indian at best, if you can call through that name. Or it can at best which was the Indus Valley civilization. But because of the political aim of some people, because of the religious aim of a particular section of the society, because of the ambitions of certain sections of the society, today we are privy to a part of our country in a different name called Pakistan. It just didn't come into being just very simplistically. It came on the remains of lakhs and lakhs of the people of this country who were very ordinary people, who were not part of none of those, neither machination, or it came so suddenly that they couldn't escape there also. So over a period of those 15 to 20 years, when the direct action was taking place across that part of our country, which is known by some other name today, in those 15-20 years of history, both lakhs and lakhs of Hindus were also, they vanished from the face of this universe. Their existence just got removed from the face of this universe. Along with that, many remains that were known by the name of Hindu culture or Indus Valley civilization or Indian culture, they also vanished from the face of this earth. It was done wantedly. It is continuing even today also. It is continuing. Couple of 10-15 years back, again we had an incident, though not in Pakistan, but that part of the world, we had the Bamiyan Buddha incident also. Because when a culture, it's very difficult to call it as a culture, when a concept, when an idea, which tells only in front of a culture which gave us also word. When it tells no, there is no also, there is only. It tells along with, it has been replaced by without. The also replaced by only and along replaced by without, then what happens when these two words are replaced by only and without? We face the situation that is there in that part of the world, and also in some sections or some part of our country also, when also is replaced by only and when with along is replaced by without. The kind of situation that arises, we have seen here today. It is not just the human population it gets erased, even the last of the symbolism also gets erased because of this fundamental belief. And that we have seen in Pakistan over a period of last 60-70 years. But culture is something like a seed which never allows it to be totally controlled or totally it doesn't get vanished. Like there is a banyan tree in Prayag, they tell, I haven't visited that particular tree, nor I have seen it, but they tell the story goes on to tell that even after repeated attempts to destroy that banyan tree, it always springs up over a period of time, 10-15 years, again it springs up. The Hindu culture is also the same way, because this is the only culture which which couldn't erase, which didn't get erased because of the onslaught of neither Abrahamic religion nor the fundamentalist forces for 2000 long years, not 1 or 2 years. In other parts of the world, the existing beliefs or the existing faith or the existing culture, you can go to Australia, you can go to American continent, what you see there is, it is neither American nor Australian nor from New Zealand. None of those beliefs which were there in that period of time, it remains today. What you see there is the European civilization or it is some kind of other faith. It is just what you see in America is the modern, the European civilization plus modern whatever you call systems of governance. It is the same across the world. But it was only in India where in spite of onslaught for 2000 long years, not only the culture, the basic culture of this part of the world, the basic Eastern culture, the basic Hindu culture, the basic Indian culture, it not only lives, it thrives also. It is thriving also. It not only lives, there is a word called existence. It is not existent, it is living, it is dynamic, and it is creating such an offshoot that even after 1000 long years, this will sustain, is what the confidence we get. But should we be so happy that it is existing here? No, it was existing somewhere else also. That was the light that had kindled the search for knowledge across the globe for thousands and thousands of years of history. But today, even in those parts of the world also, slowly a special interest is again being rekindled now. People want to get to their past. People want to know their past. I think many of you might have read the book called Roots. It is a story of a professor who had come around 14 generations back. His family had been pulled through the chain from Kenya to American continent. A particular word in a particular program heard by a singer again rekindles his interest in the meaning of that word, and also he goes on searching for his root, and a beautiful book called Roots is in front of us today. That is always the the nature of man. He will not be satisfied just with the present, however best it may be, the system best it may be. He always roots for his roots. So it is the same case in all these parts of the world also. Now it is the duty of the persons who are in this part of the country, where Hinduism or Hindutva or Hindu culture or Indian culture or whatever we might call, because of our hatred for some particular word, we may opt for some other word, but they are all the same again. They are all the same again. Where it's living, not only statically, which is living dynamically, to see to it that that part of the history and other parts of the globe should also get rekindled, so that there will be a universal brotherhood in real sense. It is not in some constitution or it is not in some speeches or not. It can be there in a social sense also. It can be there as a living example also, the universal brotherhood and the universal peace. To make that happen, again we need to rekindle this forgotten piece of history, this erased part of history, this part of the history which was brutally erased from the books of history and living. Today I think on that point, today this small gathering, any intellectual gathering will be small, and it has to be small because it is not a political party meeting or it is not a other kind of public program. This small meeting, this small seminar, this small talk and this small churning of our thoughts, I think it will go a long way in rekindling the interest of this group, so that with not only Pakistan, if you search for anything that is Hindu, you will get, according to the researches that have been conducted, and there have been quite a good number of books also. It's not like that only I am telling it. You find something Hindu in more than 175 countries of this world. Something Hindu in 175 countries. Even if you go to the parts of South American countries now, in places like Suriname, there are thousands of houses where every evening Ramayana is read. In no part of India, every evening Ramayana is read. Only in Kerala, that too during Karnataka Masa, every day evening Ramayana is read. Otherwise, Ramayana in India is also, now it is there in many parts only in temples. But in Suriname, every evening in thousands of houses, Ramayana is read every evening. So if you go across, if you search across the globe, in more than 175 countries, you will find something Hindu very significantly, not some piece of stone or not some piece of history. You will find it significantly in more than 175 countries. So we should know it so that we can rekindle not only the existence, we can rekindle the spirit of what we call the Hindu culture of this country. And I hope that today's talk, it kindles that interest, it rekindles our interest so that we can search for more such evidences across the globe. I don't want to take too much time between you and Sandeep Balakrishna, because I am also eager to hear him. I am also have been avid reader of Santhosh Balakrishna's article right from the days of India Fact through the last decade, and now Dharma Dispatch, everything. I know many of you know about India Fact, and many of you are in the know of Dharma Dispatch also. Let us hear the man behind Dharma Dispatch, Santhosh Balakrishna. Thank you.